Before I start this video, I want you to stop for a moment and ask yourself something honest. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night feeling scared, and you didn't know why? Have you ever felt like something was watching you? Or maybe you've been going through a long streak of bad luck, illness, or broken relationships, and no matter what you do, nothing seems to get better? If any of this sounds familiar, this video might be exactly what Allah guided you to today. Because the truth is, we live in a world that has more than one dimension. Allah created humans, and Allah also created the Jinn. The evil eye is real. Black magic is real. The Prophet Muhammad himself warned us about these things, not to make us afraid, but to arm us with protection. And that protection, it isn't expensive. It doesn't require a sheikh or a special ritual. It is words. Simple, powerful, prophetic words that any Muslim can say. Right now, today, from wherever they are, I'm going to teach you 5 of those duas. Each one is from the authentic Sunnah. Each one has been used by our Prophet himself. And I'm going to explain every single one clearly so you don't just memorize it, you understand it. Because when you understand what you're saying to Allah, your dua becomes alive. Let's begin. The first dua is one you may already know, but I want you to hear it today with new eyes. It is Ayatul Kursi, verse 255 of Surah Al-Baqarah. The Prophet once asked a companion, Abu Hurairah, which verse of the Quran is the greatest? And the answer was Ayatul Kursi, the greatest verse in the entire book of Allah. Now think about that. Out of 6,236 verses, this one is the greatest. Why? Because it describes Allah in a way no other verse does. Tells you that Allah never sleeps. He never gets tired. Everything in the heavens and the earth belongs to Him. No one can intercede except by His permission. He knows everything, what is in front of us and what is behind us. And His throne extends over all of creation. When you recite this verse, you are placing yourself under the protection of that throne. The Prophet said, whoever recites Ayatul Kursi after every obligatory prayer, nothing stands between him and paradise except death. And whoever recites it before sleeping, Allah will appoint an angel to guard him until morning. Transliteration. Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. One verse. Recite it after every prayer. Recite it before you sleep. That is all. And no jinn, no magic, no evil eye can touch you, by the permission of Allah. The second protection comes right from the end of the same surah, the last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, verses 285 and 286. The Prophet gave us a beautiful promise about these verses. He said, whoever recites the last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah at night, they will be sufficient for him. Sufficient. That one word carries so much. The scholars of Islam explain that it means these 2 verses will protect you from every harm throughout that night. From jinn, from the evil eye, from shaitan, from any source of spiritual danger. But why are these 2 verses so powerful? Because of what they contain. These verses begin with the declaration of complete faith, the Prophet and the believers affirming that they believe in Allah, His angels, His books, and His messengers. And then they end with one of the most beautiful duas in the Quran, asking Allah to forgive us, to not burden us beyond what we can bear, and to grant us victory over those who disbelieve in Him. Transliteration. Amana razulu bima unzila ilayhi mir rabbihi wal mu'minin. Faith and supplication combined. That is why these verses work as a shield. Tonight, before you sleep, open your Quran app, find these 2 verses, and recite them slowly with meaning. Make it your nightly routine. Now we come to the 2 surahs that were revealed specifically for protection. Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas. Together they are known as Al-Mu'awwidatayn, the 2 surahs of refuge. Here is something that moves me every time I think about it. In the last days of his life, when the Prophet became ill, it was these 2 surahs that Aisha used to recite over him, blowing gently onto his blessed hands and wiping them over his body. If these surahs were the comfort of the Prophet in his most vulnerable moments, what should they be for us? Every single night, before sleep, the Prophet himself would cup his palms, recite Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, and An-Nas, blow softly into his hands, and wipe them over his head, face, and the front of his body. He did this 3 times. This is recorded in Bukhari and Muslim, the two most authentic books of hadith. Transliteration. Qalam-e-Ruh by Al-Falaq. Transliteration. Qalam-e-Ruh by An-Nas. In Al-Falaq, you seek refuge from the evil of everything created, the darkness of the night, those who blow on knots to cast spells, and the envy of the jealous. In An-Nas, you seek refuge from the whispering of Shaitan, who whispers into the hearts of both humans and jinn. Recite them 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening, and 3 times before you sleep. This is the Sunnah. The 4th dua is one that many Muslims have never heard of, and yet it is one of the most powerful daily protections in the entire Sunnah. The Prophet said, "Whoever says this 3 times in the morning will not be harmed by anything until the evening. And whoever says it 3 times in the evening will not be harmed by anything until the morning." 3 times. That's all it takes. And the harm that is prevented includes illness, accidents, evil from jinn, black magic, and the evil eye. Transliteration. Bismillahilladhi la yaduru ma'azmahai shay'un fil ardi, wa la fis sama'i wa huwa sami'ul alim. Translation. In the name of Allah, with whose name nothing on earth or in the heavens can cause any harm. And He is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Read those words again slowly. With whose name nothing on earth or in the heavens can cause any harm. That is the power of the name of Allah. When you begin your morning and evening by anchoring yourself to that name, you are placing yourself inside a protection that no jinn, no magic, and no evil can penetrate. After Far, say it 3 times. After Asr, say it 3 times. Set a reminder on your phone if you need to. This dua will change your life. And now the final dua. I saved this one for last because it is perhaps the most comprehensive protection in the Sunnah, and yet most Muslims have never recited it even once in their lives. This dua is short. It is just a few words. But what those words mean is extraordinary. Arabic. Transliteration. Audu by Qalam-e-Ruh min Sharri ma Khalaq. Translation. I seek refuge in the perfect words of Allah from the evil of everything He has created. The Prophet said, "Whoever stops at a place and says this, nothing will harm him until he leaves that place." Narrated in Sahih Muslim. Now understand what you are saying. The perfect words of Allah. The scholars explain this refers to the Quran itself. Every word of the Quran is perfect, complete, and beyond the reach of any evil. When you recite this dua, you are surrounding yourself with those perfect words as a fortress. From the evil of everything He has created. That includes every jinn, every human with evil intentions, every jealous eye, every spell, every form of harm in existence. You are asking Allah to protect you from all of it at once. Recite this when you arrive at a new place. Recite it when something feels wrong. Recite it when fear enters your heart. 3 times and trust in Allah completely. Subhanallah. 5 duas. Each one from the lips of our Prophet. Each one a gift that Allah has preserved for us across more than 1,400 years. Let me leave you with this thought. These duas don't work because of magic. They work because of Allah. When you recite them with sincerity, knowing what you are saying, trusting the one you are saying it to, you are not just reciting words. You are connecting directly with the most powerful being in existence. And when Allah is your protector, nothing can harm you. Here is your daily protection plan, simple and complete. After every prayer, recite Ayatul Kursi. Every night before sleep, recite the last 2 verses of Al-Baqarah and then Al-Falaq and An-Nas 3 times with your palms. Every morning after Far and every evening after Asr, say Bismillahilladhi la yaduru 3 times. And whenever you enter a new place or feel afraid, say Audu by Qalam-e-Ruh 3 times. That is your Sunnah shield. Start today. If this video helped you, please share it with one person you love. Because spreading this knowledge is also an act of worship. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We share authentic Islamic content every week. Inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.